let's talk Mercedes speak for a minute. GL meaning, I think, giant land yacht. It's their SUV setting. So
yes.
GL, S meaning S-Class. So it is their largest 7-seat SUV. This is the brand new third generation. Not even out yet, actually.
Not
it's
really
so
even
new,
out.
It's not even really here yet.
Well,
it's coming.
Mercedes has built the Cadillac of Wait, no, that's wrong. I'm kidding. They have 8 SUVs for sale as of right now.
8.
The GLB has just come out as well.
Yes.
And now they have 8 to choose from, this being at the very top end. And there's 2 engines. Actually, they offer a diesel too, but there's 2 engines in the United States. It is the inline 6.
Yes.
And this from a company that is not really known for making inline 6s.
You're watching Everyday Driver. We make a TV show, podcast, and YouTube channels dedicated to great cars, driving adventures, and helping you find a car you'll love. Subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss a thing.
This is the 450. You get the bigger engine, the big V8. That's in what, the 580?
Going way too fast.
Of course you are. Yeah, that happens.
Holy cow.
That's the thing. You don't. This is about a 5,500-pound car.
Yeah, somewhere in there.
This is not a lightweight by any means.
No,
it is enormous.
It's big.
This is honestly. Think about the big Escalade or the Suburban. This is that size vehicle.
Yeah,
as
we
far
just
as
passed a
actual
QX80.
length and
It's hanging
everything.
out in our rear view, by the way.
It's huge.
Yeah.
But in spite of that, well, the QX80 though is ugly.
The narwhal.
The narwhal is just heinous, and this is not. But in spite of that heavy weight, this 6-cylinder, which is 360 horsepower and about that in torque, okay? So not a huge amount of power to throw against this car, and yet it feels quick.
It's strange, but let's talk about engines. Both of these engines, as a matter of fact, have this new technology. It's a 48-volt electrical starter generator attached to both engines that offers 184 more torques and like 20 more horsepower to both engines.
Yeah, it's
when you're on it.
It's a mild hybrid assist. It's their EQ assist. It's their mild hybrid assist.
Yep.
And it runs all the car's electrical, being a 48-volt system, runs all the car's electrical systems.
It does.
And does give you that instant torque thing before you get the turbo of this 6-cylinder running. This is a 0 to 60 car of 6 seconds. If this big monster family 7-seater is doing 0 to 60 in roughly 6 seconds, how much faster do we need to go?
The AMG model needs to come out,
and
then we will decide.
And the AMG isn't out yet. So how much faster do we and all of the brood need to go? Bring the posse. Bring the posse, man. That's one of the funniest things about this launch is that Mercedes, because when you think the Old West, you think Mercedes. Clearly.
You do.
It was launched at an amazing resort, actually right here in Park City.
Yeah.
And it is a very Western-themed resort, so bring the whole posse to the Old West in the Mercedes GLS. There we go.
3rd generation, but it's their biggest, most expensive SUV. They have to step it up. So what do you do?
They keep saying to us that this is the S-Class of SUVs.
They do.
Which with Mercedes and their history,
bravo.
Mercedes
this is a bumpy
and their
road,
history,
by the way.
We should go to that real quick. E-Active body control. This is roughly an $8,000 option on your Mercedes. This is where the car, or in this case the SUV, is looking forward at the road and gauging the road surface and trying to prepare the body. The S-Class has had this for a while. Try to prepare the body for the road surface. Now, this is one of the bumpiest roads we ever shoot on.
Right.
It feels better, honestly, in this than anything I've ever driven in it. It's still bumpy. It's so bumpy this car still can't stay ahead of it.
Curve control.
But yes. Are you going to talk about curve mode too?
Yeah, we got to throw that in. When we're in comfort mode too,
this is such an active suspension that it is not just, think about magnetic ride control from GM.
Yeah,
it's not
that's a good
just
comparison.
Absorbing really well. It's actually trying to look forward and anticipate what the suspension is going to need to the point that they have a curve mode.
You can actually set it on 3 different settings, kind of depending on the road. But when you're looking at the car from the front of the back, you can see it actually lean into the corners and settle.
Think of it like this isn't great, but think of it like a kneeling bus. It has that kind of thing where it ducks in, and you can feel it do it. It's not disconcerting, but it is new and strange.
It's making this track better than any large SUV I've ever driven. And what it's also doing is, over these undulations, I'm constantly feeling the suspension calculate, because it's not doing it after the fact. It's reading the road, so the car feels like it's on a gimbal the entire time.
However, it also struck me that Mercedes has made a lowrider. They have. And I know I am not the culture to speak on this, but still, the thing is, you can go into the off-road settings and you can actually decide which corner is up. I'm hitting switches, bitches. I'm seriously. You can decide the corner. You can stick a nose up in the air. You can stick the tail up in the air.
Three-wheel motion. You can tripod.
The reason for it is actually supposed to be
slow through the neighborhood.
You can. You can roll slow and low. You can in this because below below like 7 or 10 miles an hour, you can actually set this thing up. It's supposed to be for off-roading, where if you have one side of the car that's high-sided, you can actually balance it out to get you off the train. That's the reason for it.
Yes.
But let's be honest. This is a drive-through and drop off the kid's car.
Yes, you can do that because if you don't have, a sand dune handy to really try it out, you naturally put it in the mode.
Of course you do.
You do your thing and you bounce.
I maintain this is going to get used more in drive-thrus as a party trick than in reality as intended.
You're right. It's a party trick first, even though you'll have to remember because, if you're out in the sand dunes, you're in the snow and you think, I need to rock the car. Wait, there's a mode. This SUV hustles faster than you think.
And
it's
faster than it
astounding.
kind of needs to, let's be honest.
And it's not even
this
the
is.
AMG.
It's not even the
performance.
V8. It's not even the bigger of the two
Absolutely.
that are offered on this press drive.
I mean, it's surprising how it carries itself, and that's what the next generation had to do. Mercedes had to figure out, if we're going to make a big SUV, how do we manage the weight, and how do we manage the steering and the feel of everything? Like I said, I'm not saying this is coming in as a sports car or that kind of feeling, but when you start going fast and you've got it in Sport Plus, the way it manages the weight and it composes itself,
it's very surprising.
Gives you this new level of confidence, and you think, well, these heavy SUVs shouldn't be doing this.
This has Mercedes' new extra long iPad interior. It is actually awesome. It's like two iPads next to each other. This is an all digital dash in here, and it is genuinely phenomenal. And it even comes with, there's an Android pad in the second row that is set up to drive this screen. It is, of course it is, but it's everything. It's a press car. Everything's an option. It's set up to drive this screen from the second row, which also, by the way, has full electric seats and heating and cooling and the whole thing in the second row.
But this has a screen that can be updated instantly with firmware. It's just a flat screen. So we've essentially gone back to a flat dashboard.
Oh, fair point.
With the proliferation of screens. And I like that Mercedes is introducing these shapes because they're coherent with the exterior styling, but think of all the radiuses on everything you see in here. It's all consistent. It's all friendly, and even though it's future tech, yes, but as a screen, just with any cars that are coming out with screens like this big, you can update the graphics. You can update what it does.
Theoretically.
The maps, you can actually connect it to anything. Even the modes for the instrument panel, you can change that. It's just a different skin over the top. It's just different graphics. How easy is that? Listen to all the tech this has. It has
sit down for a minute. Get comfortable.
Active steering assist, active braking assist, active lane keeping assist.
Yes.
Active stop and go when you're in traffic. It has evasive steering maneuvers. And if you don't turn all this off, you're going to feel it at some point.
Constantly you're going to feel it, I think.
If you crash this car, you don't have any excuses left because Mercedes has thought of the thing and built it so it's not super intrusive. There are still a few things that I find, the lane keeping part, and
it's all very aggressive because it's all very safety conscious.
There's a lot. I haven't even named them all, and there's still more. Something sort of assists.
But their system is one of the best out there, and of course all of those features are available here, which means you could do.
Listen to that. Listen to that. She's getting after it. This car should not hang on like it's doing.
It really should.
This is disconcerting because it just got smaller and I tore through that corner.
And there's not you don't have rear steering or anything crazy like that. It just does such a good job of that suspension kind of anticipating and dealing with everything. It's amazing.
We're talking about suspension. There's more things you can do with a really cool air suspension. There's car wash mode.
Oh, that's right.
Car wash mode.
Car wash mode.
You forgot about the car wash mode, didn't you?
Did.
Car wash mode. activates the suspension at its highest setting, which means due to geometry, the wheels actually get narrow. The track of the car gets narrow because it's sitting high on its suspension. It also shuts off the rain sensor to protect the wipers, and it folds the mirrors in, and it turns, everything, the recycle, the air recycle on, everything the attendant would do to tape your wipers down.
Yeah.
It does it for you.
Yeah.
It's handy.
Both of us expect it to feel like a wonderful place to be, but neither one of us expect it to handle. And what's crazy is because of this constantly thinking active suspension, it handles really well for its size. Actually, I take that back. It handles better than its size would ever suggest it could.
How are you keeping up with a motorcycle? Is he going slowly?
Things. He's going quite slowly for a motorcycle, but he has his girlfriend on the back.
That's true.
And I'm driving a big SUV faster than I really should. So those two things combined mean that I'm actually following a bike down the canyon. But I have curve mode on.
Yeah,
so
you do.
Lean with me. I'm leaning in. We're embracing.
Lean with me, bounce with me.
You know it. Yeah.
It's a party trick. The whole thing is a giant party trick. But I come back to the thinking, when you're spending money on an SUV, there's so many choices nowadays.
Tons, yes.
So what puts this in a category worth the money for as expensive and beautifully crafted and nice as it is?
Yeah.
Why spend the money over something normal?
Well, it's twice as much as the seven-seaters that we're covering on television for season 5.
Absolutely.
That are the typical suspects of the Kia Telluride and the Honda Pilot and the Mazda CX-9. Those guys are all around $40,000 to $50,000.
Yeah.
This is going to be more than twice that, competing against the Escalade and the new BMW
It
X7.
is.
This is the rarefied air that you're in, ultimately to haul the family around and get dirty.
Yes, but let me introduce a thought to you.
Okay.
It is driving this and experiencing all the features as a unit. This is the car, this is the way it makes me feel.
Okay.
And thinking about, I can't live without those features. I don't want to drive without these features.
Yeah.
The suspension, the way this is holding the road, and this is a not nice road.
No, not a good road for a big SUV.
And you're going faster than you should theoretically be able to do. So
yes, I am.
If you get in another SUV and you think, I don't want to be in that one, I want to be in this one,
sure,
that justifies the cost. With the suspension, the towing capacity, by the way, is 7,800, which is dang impressive.
That is good. It is
for
good.
this car.
For the inline 6-cylinder,
yes,
mind you. Yeah.
All those things added up, you think, all right, I could name the SUV from any other car manufacturer. Why would you do that? Why wouldn't you? That's
what they're counting on.
This.
If you can't afford it, you can't afford it. Granted, the question then becomes like the old Mercedes S-Class question of, do you wait and try to buy one used because it's still awesome?
Well,
but
yes.
All of these features I still can't get over, and you feel it even more in the driver's seat. The active suspension.
Yeah,
I'm
noticing the hood.
You feel it a little bit from the
Horizon.
passenger side, but once you're here in the driver's seat, you are in control, sort of. You're telling the car what to do, so you have kind of subconscious expectations as to how the car should feel right now, and it doesn't feel that way because the suspension is thinking so much and changing the attitude of the ride so much that it feels unnatural, genuinely unnatural.
It does.
Not
it
bad,
does,
mind you, but it feels genuinely unnatural because it doesn't go with the subconscious of what you expect the truck to feel like.
Yeah, you're not going to be used to the kind of feeling. It's S-Class thinking applied to this giant truck.
Yes.
And the way it moves, the comfort level, everything it offers, like I said, justifying the price, I'm going to make an admission to you. This might be my guilty pleasure car.
Really? Okay.
As much as we enthusiasts need everything to be awesome all of the time, there are a few times when you're with your family or you just want to cruise or have the road trip that you can justify this. And I am shocked to like it as much as I am.
So you who own the Expedition are lusting after the Expedition merged with an S-Class. Because that's what this is.
I mean,
it's an Expedition merged with an S-Class.
Yeah, just thinking, small levels, just like my 8% love of monster trucks.
Okay.
It's hard to put, hey, fun cornering with a giant SUV.
It's incredibly difficult.
Still keep the family happy and entertained and comfortable and tow stuff and all that's. Where is the mark? It's constantly shifting. Well, this gets pretty dang close.
This does one of the best of that area, which is a weird requirement list to begin with. I needed to be fun to drive and hold a lot of people in my boat.
I mean,
you kind of got to let one, it's like pick two,
yeah.
okay? Pick two, because we can't have all three.
I'm saying.
So that is difficult, but I also have to think about this. This is competing directly with the Cadillac Escalade.
Sure,
which
sure.
I feel
and
like
the
you
X7
see,
as
yes,
well,
but I feel
you
like you
said.
see a lot of families driving the Cadillac Escalade that don't live an extravagant lifestyle, and yet they have an Escalade. Those are $90,000 plus
Easy.
before you try.
Every bit of 90.
So
yeah.
I feel like the number of families that I have seen that are driving an Escalade that don't live extravagantly tells me that this has a larger market than I expect.
Mercedes is going to sell a ton of these.
And this isn't sport mode. I'm in comfort mode.
Yeah. Well, it's still giving you the power boost.
It is.
It's still,
It's doing a good job.
This is dang impressive.
Yeah,
Your Airstream would be flapping in the wind.
This is a difficult hill, honestly, and
it'd
this
be
is
snapping
flying
in
up
the
this hill.
breeze behind
I'm
you.
going to pass Teslas on my way. Bye.
Oh, that felt good.
Oh, that's a big number. Heads-up
Wow.
display has just told me just how much
No
I'm breaking
kidding.
the law.
No kidding. Honestly, as much as we talk about enthusiast cars, these things exist. They will continue to be bought and continue to be wanted by the general public. People are wanting these.
Everybody wants a big
So you
something.
have to bring
Yeah.
the tech. You've got to bring what's next. Otherwise, you're just another SUV.
We've driven a lot of SUVs of late, a lot
Heck
of
yeah.
them for YouTube, and we keep driving more and more SUVs because, let's be honest, the manufacturers are making more and more SUVs and kind of letting everything else die. In the middle of that, honestly, I feel like my brain is mush with what SUV did what feature. It's hard to stand out in, oh yeah, that's right, that one was great. And I have to say there have been a few of late, 2 or 3 of late, that I've been genuinely impressed with, and this one has impressed me more than I expected.
Is it because of price and badge, or is it because of features and how it leaves you feeling?
I don't think it has anything to do with the price, because let's be honest, the price is going to be mostly unreachable for the common man. Well over 6 figures, any way you want to spec this car. Even if you don't do the big V8, it's just going to be wickedly expensive.
Absolutely.
Come on, when this crazy suspension is $8,000, people are writing our podcast buying cars for $8,000.
Oh, I know.
So
I know.
this isn't really a relatable price point, but at least it's nice to drive this and to go, okay, I see where the money went.
Yeah.
Because so many times I feel like at that $45,000 to $60,000 price point, we get in a lot of SUVs where we go, why is this much money?
And what differentiates it?
Absolutely.
Why should I go spend
Why do I
justify
care?
that kind
What
of
makes
price?
it interesting, and why did it cost this much? This, while not in my taste, you say it's a guilty pleasure for you, it's not really in my taste. I
hear
at
that.
least
I
drive
hear
it and go, okay, I see why it cost this much. I see what's going on here.
Yeah.
And when I will see somebody driving, I'll be like, I understand what's cool about that.
Sure.
Sea of SUVs where I'm just like, I don't care and neither should you.
And that'll continue.
Yeah.
It's going to be the feeling you're leaving with, and the feeling that you just want to get back in it and have the feature and the comfort and the massage feature in the seats. Even when you point at the instrument panel, just 2 fingers, and it differentiates the passenger from the driver, because the cameras that are right here can see my arm versus Todd's.
You're right.
So
all
they're
gesture control.
actually,
I'm going to turn on my seat massaging as well.
There we go.
It's kind of ridiculous, to be honest with you.
Almost
but it's
too
the same.
much.
There is
It's
too much.
almost too much.
There is too much. But at least you can see it and go, I understand where the money went, and this is very impressive.
Yeah.